Make money, money, money. That's what we do here at the SPL. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're here at the desk. Hinna Man with his awesome tie. Finally got to show it off. Exciting stuff going on in Europe today, but we're going to make our way over to North America.
And we get to see Enemy up against Denial. This is not going to be a slouch game by any stretch of the imagination. Enemy 4-2 in the Pro League so far. Maybe at nosebleed height, some people feel, but if they can scoop out a win here against Denial, it's potential here for them to actually make a push for LAN.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Let's just get into the picks and bans. I don't even want to say anything else. I just want to see how this game is going to go. Enemy is 4-2, as you said. Maybe a little bit of overperformance, whereas Denial 1-3, maybe a little underperformance. I want to see how these teams sort of level out.
But to be fair, to go 1-3 against TSM and Cloud9, that's not a bad slash
No. That's sort of what I mean. Yeah. I phrased it incorrectly. What I mean is the 1-3 sort of defies how talented this team is. And a lot of people at home, 4-2 looking good for Enemy, but a lot of people feel like that's defying them as well.
My good God, we're in picks and bans, right?
Yeah.
Enemy do not get to ban the god that they've banned every game so far because Denial banned it out for them. Wukong was taken off the table. Enemy's banned that every game.
Every single game.
Every single game. Why would Denial ban that? Whether they've been first pick or second pick, Enemy have banned that god.
They didn't do their homework.
Maybe they didn't, but that's just one thing I noticed during going through research and things.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they banned out Wukong every game. I guess we're not going to see it.
Freya going to be banned out as well. So your bans are Isis, Circuit, Freya, and Wukong. First pick, Bellona for Enemy.
Bellona squeezing through. Now, I like the ban from Denial there to the Freya as well. Visham this season, we've seen him play Freya twice. We've seen him play Medusa twice. But Medusa's only ever been played when they've managed to pick up Athena alongside it. So keep an eye on the side of Enemy if they do go for that. Denial, though, they're going to get 2 prime picks here.
With Janus, but who's the second? How do you know it's so prime?
Prime picks.
Is it pretty?
Don't start that. We're in North America right now. Sylvanus, though, picked up for Shadow Q, one of his go-to gods for the most part. We've seen a lot of Ares out of him this season as well, but he's gone for Sylvanus 2 games, Ares 2 games. This one, we're going to see him on that once more.
I mean, historically, he just plays this god very, very well. Shadow Q, honestly, is one of the most well-rounded, in my opinion, supports out there. Usually when you think of supports, a playstyle comes to mind. You either have your defensive, I like to think of like Jeff Hinla, or you have your aggressives, I like to think of Kanye Life. Shadow Q will both play the Gebs and the Sylvanus and the Ymirs and the Ares. So I'm never surprised when a pick is out.
Really good front line for Enemy, though, with that Bellona and Geb pickup. Denial, though, they do have Walrus, who plays a lot of Osiris, a lot of Sun Wukong. So their front line will probably be one of those 2 plus Sylvanus, depending on what Enemy choose to ban away or potentially pick up for themselves. It's their option now. Will they look for the jungler before the counter ban phase? We'll find out in a moment. It is going to actually be the Hunter in Medusa.
Very good pick here. Medusa able to really impact the team fight. Much better than some other hunters.
So here's the issue with Denial right now. Their early game is going to be very strong in that duo lane. Their push power very strong, as well as they're going to have a Janus for big, heavy rotations.
So why is that an issue?
Well, we could see some potential in the jungle here for some invades on them early to those back copies. Like we saw of Epsilon last game, potentially. They're going to have the ability to rotate around a little bit more. With the Agni ban as well, you can see they're looking to relieve pressure on the mid lane that can farm out. So hitting that with the Agni ban. There's Osiris for Walrus. Take that one away from him.
I mean, Walrus still relatively new to the SPL, and he sort of made his identity known that he likes to play the thick, tanky bruisers, a lot of Wukongs, a lot of Osiris.
Well, as well as that Enemy, they lost to get AFK, although they had a good, not AFK, Denial, basically Cloud9 set up shop on Walrus, and Anderson had a tent there. The tent was cool. He also had a fire cooking as well. And things were looking good for him there. But Walrus did not have a good game, mainly for being camped more than anything else.
And we saw sort of the same thing against Team Solo Mid, I believe, where Gar sort of set up shop there as well. Had the tent, had the fire, had the beans. That's just what they do. You want to focus the rookie. And that's what we're seeing. Enemy will round out their draft with a Nuwa and a Batz.
So Enemy will be taking that Bellona to the solo lane more than likely for, I believe it's Salt Machine today. I'm not 100% certain. We'll find out. And obviously on the Denial side is finally the last pick. And what a surprise. Walrus is going to default to some Wukong because Osiris is not available.
As I said, Wukong is the character that he played in the only game that Denial has won. Actually played it very, very well with a KDA of 2.4. So looking strong on that Wukong, and as I said, the only character he was able to find a win on, unfortunately for him. So the Wukong will be played in that solo lane. And Walrus, we'll see how it works out.
Now, both these teams as well, don't forget, they've both got double headers this weekend. On Sunday, they've got to face off against, well, Enemy's got to face off against Cloud9, Denial against Eager, and they'll both be highly wanting here to take the win against
Right away, we're going to start things off with a bang. Blink onto Chaos. Chaos is gone. Bronx Bombers gets the first blood, minus 41 seconds into this contest.
Well, the benefit of the first blood coming then is there's got to be, as you like to say, stuff after stuff, because there's nothing even on the map to go and do. But an early pickup and the first blood going over to Medusa, that will accelerate her build a little bit. There's a chance if she abused this here, she could base and get boots right now. But you don't necessarily need them on Medusa. You could just save up for that Transcendence a little bit quicker, which will influence that duo lane just a little bit.
Mace to the Face also been playing a lot of Janus. If you ask anybody that's been watching Smite for a long time, they'll tell you that Mace to the Face is known for his Isis. If you ask somebody that started watching this year, they might tell you it's Janus. He's been playing so much of this character. It's a quick follow-up. 7 total picks over the course of the year, 5 of those being wins. So Janus really being a potent part of Mace to the Face's lineup.
I'm talking about big potent parts. Medusa for Bronx Bombers so far this season. He's picked it 3 times. This is the 4th time he's picked it out of 5 games. So he really likes this god, and to give it first blood at the start of this game, I thought, then it might be a big issue for them going forward.
Anytime you give a hunter first blood, you gotta watch out.
But especially, you gotta watch out A, but then B, you're giving it to something that he's clearly quite comfortable on, and it's his favored pick. That's when it's also gonna be even more of an issue.
You just feel so comfortable. We've all had that feeling in our own personal games. Of course, this, a much different situation. Early wards right next to each other near the mid camps. And Shing and Mace to the Face will go ahead and clear out these. While Chaos and his jungler will clear out the ones on the left-hand side.
An even split for them. Now, keep an eye on it now, though, because they do have a lot of map pressure here. Shing on that Thor, as well as Mace to the Face. Great mobile presence on the map.
So I do want to mention, we left it out during the pregame. It will be Salt Machine in the long lane, but Wiggles not making the appearance here for enemy. Instead, we'll take a look at Adjust. One of the first times we get to see this player in the SPL.
Okay, Adjust from the Challenger Cup. He was one of the standout players there, honestly. Didn't manage to make it through, but Adjust got multiple MVPs over the course of it, or was at least considered for the most part in this jungle role. He's very, very strong. However, Wiggles the Bay is what we would like touting for this season. Whenever we've seen enemy do really well, they're 4-2. Every time they've done well, it was on the back of Wiggles having a strong performance. Adjust has big shoes to fill for his first showing in SPL.
So, give us a little bit of context. I mean, you were largely in control of the Challenger Cup this past season. I was before. But, so adapting really, he was the star that came out of the Challenger Cup last time around. You know, is he in adapting? Is he that level? Are we going to look for that?
Adjust has a lot of base things that I like about his playstyle for the most part. He's very rotational. He'll look around the map. He plays very aggressive gods in the jungle too. You can see that on Batz this game is a simple example. It's pretty much a safe one though for your first SPL game to go Batz, because even if you get behind, you're going to make an influence with that Fear No Evil.
Fear No Evil is always relevant. It's how I like to think about tier. You always have a Fearless. If you're 0-7, Fearless will still push you the same distance. If you're 0-5 on Hun Batz, Fear No Evil will still fear the entire team fight.
But keep an eye on Adjust though, because he's got a lot of aggression in him. So we'll see what he can do up against Shing. Let's find out for this game. Will be his first game though, so we'll potentially see him play it a little bit more passively than May he would have done if it was just like a ranked game.
Yeah, of course. This is, as I said before, this is a much different stage than you or I are known for. And already, Shing in the air, looking at that solo lane, drops right on Salt Machine. He'll jump away, but following suit will be the Sun Wukong. Janus has made it over. Perfect. Unstable Vortex. Mace to the Face picks up the 2nd kill for Denial Esports.
Just spoke about this as well. I just mentioned the fact that Janus and Thor have great map presence. Both have global ultimates, well, at least semi-global in terms of Shing. And they managed to get over there, put the pressure back on the solo lane this time round for a change. Walrus is the one that's actually getting people camping for him.
It's got to turn around. And I mean, you know, to be fair, like, you can only, I said it before, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Denial can't let that continue on throughout the season. 4 games in, this being their 5th, they've noticed that and they're making adjustments, no pun intended. That's what I like to see.
And now what they're going to try and do as well is, like, the best thing about solo lane here is you can see that you can go for that and not be threatened by the gold fury being taken. Even if you do lose it, the gold value not as substantial as it would have been. No hogs online, so it takes a lot longer. There's always a bigger potential chance to steal. Right, Harpies, though, no contestation in the end because the boys at Denial get out.
It has a lot to do with the composition of the enemy team as well. There's no Ymir, there's no Isis. So when you take a look at how threatening is that gold tree, sure, I mean, at the end of the day, anytime you have a hunter, watch out. But there's no big watch out, we're taking this. So you can afford to pay attention to that solo lane just a little bit more.
And this is what you can see from enemy's composition here as well. Soul Machine very aggressive under the tower once more. Luckily enough, though, he doesn't have to panic and use his Eagle's Rally. He's actually trying to bait Xing in for a little bit longer if he can. But unfortunately, on the left-hand side of the map, there's not an opportunity to go aggressive in response.
Always jumping is Xing.
The side of enemy, though, they do have a very good team fight-orientated team here. With that Fear No Evil, with that Cataclysm, Noir presence, then the Eagle's Rally. The other side of things, though, Denial, they're all about mobility for the most part. Some Wukong, fast transitions with the transformations. We've already spoken about Thor and Janus multiple times. Then there's still a little bit of, team fight presence with the Medusa Sylvanus as well.
I mean, even Medusa, you want to talk about mobility, Sylvanus is really the odd one out. Lacerate goes so far. It's like a Cupid dash. You're a football pitch away.
And then on top of that, your passive increases your movement speed while strafing too, so that just helps things out.
I see you smiling. You know that I said football pitch and not football field.
Yes, I heard it. I was just ignoring it for the time. Soul Machine being bullied a little bit more in this lane now just because of the aggression he showed earlier and going to be punished and forced back to base.
Walrus going to let him back.
Well, he's not going to miss anything for the time being. And more Soul Machine did a good job of backing next. He was trying to bait him in for a just, but there's a ward there, unfortunately.
And as you can see, thank you very much, Zayden, Adjust was right on the edge of it. So Salt Machine knows full well, or Walrus knows full well, that Batz is lurking in the jungle.
I'm talking about wards right now. It's currently set up like a Christmas tree for me because there's 3 wards down for Denial at decent positions on the map. One at Gold Fury, right-hand exit at the enemy team's jungle. That's really hard to say, enemy team's jungle.
And this is no surprise to me, honestly, Hinduman. When you come to high-level gameplay, every team is going to be warding. Every player is going to be warding. We'll forget about the Bush for a moment. But Denial has always been very vision-focused. And maybe I'm miscrediting it, but I credit that a lot to ShadowQ. I think ShadowQ brings a lot of that sort of cerebral sort of attitude.
Oh, that falls in the air. Xing's looking for the dunk. Doesn't find it, though, as it does look like Vicium does manage to roll away.
In and out.
They went for the play. This will be a reset, and everyone will fall. But maybe Adjust will try and make something happen. He's sprinting his way in.
Blinked in. Spear No Evil down. Beads are good, but isn't enough. Bronx Bomber's going to deter the onslaught as he turns around, but Chaos finishes things up off the back end of 2 snipes from Vicium. Fantastic team play by Enemy to secure their first kill of the game.
A good turnaround from Enemy, honestly. Denial made the commitment. They went for the aggression, didn't find the pick, and when the rotation ended, immediately Enemy came in and cleaned up.
Well, they saw how quickly Xing got out of there. Xing dunked down, and almost comically, you heard me laugh. Xing dunked down, missed, and walked right through the Janus portal. See ya. I'm not here anymore. See you later.
No other reason for him to be there. And you were talking about ShadowQ and like what he likes to, his tactical mindset. Well, Pain Divion is the same sort of guy. Both these are captains of these teams. Both of these are support players. Both tactically mindset
Teams
for the whole
led
time.
by supports.
It's sometimes what happens, and we saw it in the enemy's game against AFK, that tactical mindset that Pain Divion had to try and get them to push back towers in response was very strong for them. It's going to be an interesting game, this.
Salt Machine caught out in the middle of his bludgeon. That's going to stop a lot of the damage, but now Salt Machine going to be the target of the damage. Double tap hurts him just a little bit, but everyone's stunned off of Pain Divion's damage. But for all of that,
no one's going to die.
No deaths.
But they may get the blue buff. The reason no one died is because on the side of Enemy, they didn't have the ultimate from Chaos, and they didn't have the ultimate from Adjust. It was just using the duo lane. That's the only reason we saw Denial get out that situation.
Salt Machine's ultimate comes up right away, and he burns it. Very interesting.
Intentional? I missed that completely.
Very interesting. I saw the diamond come online, and Salt Machine just sort of jumped away.
See those pings there? It was on the wall that Enemy has down to let him know that Denial's on the warpath to the left-hand side, and immediately Vicium backs up to his tower. He knows his purple buff's being invaded here. There's a good call from Denial. Take what you can from the enemy jungle if you see an opportunity, and they get out and deny.
Look how smart this is. I want to point out how smart Vicium is being with his positioning right now. It's very easy to think that on your tower it's Ali Oxen free, but even this early in the game, 8.5 minutes in, the 4-man, 3-man gank on top of your tier 1 is a threat. So Vicium sees that the enemy team is on his blue buff, and falls all the way back to the tier 2, knowing that the tower is not absolute safety. It seems basic for some of our advanced players, but the tower can seem so safe when it's really not.
One thing to note in the Hunter role as well for Vicium here, he's done a very good job of catching up. Take into account Bronx Bombers did get that first blood over in that lane, but he's caught up in gold a little bit with just that assist. He's done a good job of farming here to catch up in response to that early start that Bronx Bombers had on him. He's eating his stacks too. He's almost getting there.
So the Janus ultimate was just burned by Mace to the face over from the mid to the left-hand side. We saw Sun Wukong walk through it. I don't think Walrus was in any particular trouble. So again, very interesting to see these ultimates come out when they're coming out.
Well, Walrus's tower's taking a little bit of damage here, but that's kind of standard when you're a Sun Wukong. Early game, your clear's not as effective. You're going to be pushed in a little bit harder by the likes of Bellona with that big bludgeon. Kind of difficult to stop it, honestly. I mean, you can use the transformations for Tiger Stance to stun it, but it's not the easiest thing in the world to land at the same time when bludgeon's going off.
Well, we're approaching the 10-minute mark. Fire Giant about to show up in about 10 seconds. 2-1 of the kills. First blood went the way of Bronx Bombers on this Medusa. Ooh. So he's got a very, very good look here.
Support players both go for cooldown reduction boost this game. Seen a lot of travel issues for the most part. The odd issues, the Magi coming out in terms of getting extra penetration online for the likes of Ares. But cooldown reduction ones, they've kind of drifted off again, but both of them going for them this game. Really interesting to see. I would love to know the idea behind that. Just the extra cooldown, they don't feel the penetration enough. They think they're going to get enough gold without having to have those boots and the mobility.
It's a confidence play. I mean, if you go ahead and you ask any of these pros, you know, they'll say it's very situational as far as which boots you're going to go. And you know, right now I can offer the insight into the Geb. More Geb shields. It is never something you want to turn away from.
It is more Geb shields, but here's what I always see. It's like Traveler's shoes do give you that mobility.
Exactly.
Mobility is a key, especially on these types. I mean, Geb, a little bit of a different situation because he's got the rollout, but Sylvanus, you want that mobility most of the time and the regenerative stats that it does give you as well on that. You get the extra mana back as well, so you don't use as many pots. You've got to be very, very careful with your ability usage in game if you don't go for the Traveler's shoes.
Chaos staying even with Mace to the face here in the middle lane. Not a short task.
I like the call from Shadow Q here to go for beads as well on this support. Just in case he does get CC'd up, he's got to deal with Fear No Evil. He's got the potential of an Eagle's Rally that could stun him out. And then on top of that, he's still got Cataclysm as well to deal with. So preparing himself to get those ults off.
And we saw what happened in, not game one, but the first set of today. If you're just joining us for the North American match, we got a chance to see Epsilon take on Dignitas. And unfortunately for Dignitas, Frezzy, their support, was playing a lot of Sylvanus, would blink in, get a Wrath of Terror off, and then melt. And that's really, he just CC chained. So by getting these beads, Shadow Q is really preventing that from even being a possibility.
It's a big rotation to the left-hand side here. They're looking to steal away the purple buff and response enemy. But look, in the jungle, Denial are on the way as well. We'll see exactly what happens as Xing dunks in, looking for that new one.
Just barely misses it, but the Fear No Evil is right on point. Xing's going to fall down. The rookie just evens up the kills. 2-2. Enemy and Denial are even. Denial still pressing the gas button. Vicium got the moves. He'll get out of there, no problem.
Pain will not get out of there, though, as well. It was a good response from him. Vicium did great work in that to bring down Xing's HP bar and just picks up the kill. The problem is, though, a lot of ults were used by enemy now. Only Vicium has his available. Will he look for the snipe? Because that's what Denial have to be scared of.
And Denial immediately turn their attention to the objectives, exactly what we expect of a hop-level team. Denial does get the objective, but Vicium takes out Bronx Bombers for what it's worth. So Denial gets the Gold Fury, but not for free.
He was really looking for the Gold Fury more than that, but picking up Bronx, it's not it's not the greatest thing in the world. Let's check in them with the gold experience. You can see the differential still. The drop is down to 1,200 in favor of Denial this game so far. Experience, though, is completely even. If they trade out this tower, though, this could be more worthwhile.
Thor wall will be good at stopping some of the damage, but not all, and because of that, tower will go down. Enemy looking cute after that one. 1,000 gold separate the team still. kills tied.
Now, Gold Fury for that mid tower, in my opinion, at this stage of the game, is not a bad trade at all. Mid tower gives you such presence on the map to fall back to. That one not being available here is going to cause a few issues for the boys in Denial. Luckily, they trade out right, but it's not as important.
Not as important, I suppose, but 500 gold is 500 gold.
It is.
They'll take that.
Agreed. They'll
Because
take it for now.
this is one of the interesting parts of the game where you really start to separate away. You get that 500 gold lead that nobody cares about. You get a 1,000 gold lead where somebody in chat cares, but not everybody. And then once you start shredding that and are able to annihilate people the way Chaos was just annihilated, now Denial is really looking to push it. Now you're starting to talk about 2,000 gold almost, 1,800 at the moment.
This is what we talk
that's
about.
what you want to push.
For me, Denial has a pick composition, enemy a team fight composition. So the longer this game goes on, if the picks keep snowballing, you can take the lead off that. However, if you get to a team fight stage, you could see enemy swing this back completely.
Yeah, enemy not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. 2,000 gold is a great start to a lead, but we really don't start to. I mean, Hindu, where would you? I like to think about like 5,000-6,000 gold. A team is really starting to get their footing.
Yeah, I mean, 5,000-6,000 gold is a real substantial lead in the current meta as it stands. If you see 10k, the game should be pretty much done. That's why I'd probably F6 is around 10k down.
Yeah.
In person, if 5k, I'm like, right, guys, we've got a big ass, maybe a fire giant, we could swing it back. 10k, different situation. But at the moment, with how it stands here, it's only
2k, you're bleeding, but you have plenty of opportunities to go ahead and stop it. Really no way out of it. And don't forget, it's very, very early in this game. 14.5 minutes just passing right now. Pain Nivion going to go ahead and chase Mace to the face out of his jungle. As Denial getting a little bit excitable.
Cheeky attempt from Denial there just to steal away that red buff more than anything. They're looking for opportunities. Just though, looking for one himself, going to look for Shadow Q here, but
Shing's in the air. Shing's in the air. He's going to land on nobody. Gets stunned out by Pain Nivion and just almost taken out.
Though. He will get taken out though by Chaos and that ultimate coming out from New World. Good snipes from Vicium though. Will he bring down Shadow Q? He should do, but the Wrath of Terror will buy him a moment. But there over the wall is Salt Machine.
Vicium very, very low. Bronx Bombers will put a bow on that one. Salt Machine takes out the Hunter for the second part of the double kill. And Walrus still here. Looking at Chaos. Couple more hits and he will fall. The mid laner falls to the rotation out of the solo lane. That was a long engagement.
Ace is having a great game right now. Good use of portals time and time again. Comes over the wall, deals damage to Chaos, rotates away again using the threshold. Then presence of mind to blink in and pick up Pain Divion. Good kills for him, and he's really going to accelerate 2-0 and 4 in the mid lane now.
And still, one more time. Tied up in the kills, 6-6.
This is one of the issues with the Denial composition that I see. I said about, the pick strategy that they have.
Right.
A lot of mobility. The only damage in the late game that you're really looking at, though, is Medusa and Janus. And if Janus doesn't get online and get that damage, you're going to be limited on what you can do late game. Luckily enough, though, Mace has played it right, and he's getting there. He's getting to that late game.
Xing will transition into more of a setup character on that Thor. And Walrus on the Sun Wukong honestly could go either way. We've seen Xayah become a hard carry with this Sun Wukong.
He's got Mystical Mail. He's going for that frontline tanky build that will do sustain damage is what I like to call it. And more like in the way and up against it. He picks up the kill in that engagement. But he's generally just going to be a frontline, I feel. And that's why you're going to be looking for the Medusa. They're going to have 3 frontline gods to make sense with the CC. Rely on the Janus, rely on the Medusa and their mobility to pick up the kills in the fights.
Mid lane grouped up is Denial. Enemy trying to find a gank right there. Xing gets a great stun and Shadow Q reacts. Shadow Q blinks on in. Wrath of Terror is good. And now Xing looking for the follow-up. But everybody's split up. Gonna land right on in the backline on top of the Hunter Vicium. Beads are good, so he gets to escape. But now Pain Divion surrounded by members from Denial. Gets a good stun, but
he's going to fall down, but maybe he can bait long enough for his team to reinforce and get some trade back. Xing picks up the kill. Salt Machine really chunking Brock's bombers at the backside. And just, oh my god, he got hit by an unstable vortex, but the Fear No Evil was good.
Perfect.
And there is the ultimate from Chaos.
That Fear No Evil was everything he wanted it to be, but Mace in the face, playing with portals, gets the kill onto a just. Fight is still raging on here as Walrus trying to find his way out. Vicium says no, but a pull from Shadow Q. That's the peel. That is the peel that you want. And Salt Machine takes out Bronx. Trades across the board. Winds up final count being 3 for 2, going the way of Denial.
Is he going to look for that one on the left-hand side? I think Salt Machine might be able to find some Wukong onto the tower if he can get off the damage from Scourge.
Scourge?
No, not enough damage. Not going to be able to find it. It was maxed as well, but the tanky Sun Wukong will live.
Here comes Mace to the face, and just barely gonna get out of there is Salt Machine as he backs at the opportune time.
So bring up the grass residing because I want to check something out there. Did anyone actually win there? No, they did not. That was pretty much a crazy trade.
This is what we've seen. This is what we've seen for the past 3 separate engagements, Hindu Man. It's 8 to 9. And the teams are separate. All right, so we're starting to grow a lead, 2,500 this time around. But each time, none of these fights are clean. It's 3 to 2, or 2 to 3, or 1 to 2. Nobody is getting out without a problem.
And they're all skirmish fights too. You can
exactly.
See, but to be fair, when I say these are all skirmish fights, that's Denial playing their composition better, more than likely. They're looking for the big, get out of the way of the big ultimate combinations coming out from enemy, split themselves up, use their mobility to get around the map, as we discussed earlier on, and play this to their strength. Big engagement in the mid though.
Fear no evil up one more time. Shing in a lot of trouble. He'll use Mjolnir's over the wall. He's up in the air looking for the re-engage off of Shadow Q. Waiting for the call, lands right on down to the middle lane, and hi-rez takes off Chaos off the top. Shots not good enough from Vishium because of good moves from Shing. And that'll be good enough. Denial still here in the mid lane. 4 members deep. Shing forced to go home, so Denial will spread back out.
Need to be careful about sieging here because Salt Machine has come over again. Does still have ultimate available.
Denial's
Chaos still dead, but it looks like they want to back up. And the pull was on point there from Shadow Cube. Excellently timed with the banish from Mace to the face, but good shield from Pain Devion saves his life.
Denial playing very, very well here. Enemy, like I said, these fights are going back and forth, but Denial is sort of getting, they're going for the after effects. They're finding the towers, they're finding the gold, and that is why Denial has a very modest lead at 3,000.
This is risky still. Vishium does roll away from that pull. Mace to the face up against Salt Machine, who's doing great work on that front line. Very, very tanky front line right now he is with that crossbound hammer. Now Adjust is in there. His Fear No Evil is just come up and just used.
Adjust has been using that both offensively and defensively. That time around, sort of a hybrid. Sheds everybody off of him. Meanwhile, Mace to the face gets the perfect unstable vortex through the wall to take off Adjust. Shadow Q saving that ult. It was still available. Knocks a couple in the air. Shing on the backside while the rest of his team is in the front. Chaos jumps up, takes down the Thor. Shing won't be affecting this fight any longer. That one goes 1 to 1.
This goes to, well, I was going to say this goes to enemy if they chose to go for the Gulf Fury, but they decided to go back. I thought they could have sustained up with Wisps there.
Sure.
Especially with both junglers being down here, all ultimates unwasted. I guess the word about Salt Machine's ult is the only thing I can think of is why they won't continue.
This one's close. It's neck and neck.
Really close.
20.5 minutes in. 9 to 11 read the kills. Denial up by 2. And the gold separating these teams, not too much. Just a hair under 3,000 as well. So neck and neck. Usually this is where we start to see the separation of the teams, Hindu Man. But these teams still very close.
Still very close because the trades are pretty much going even. Keep an eye on Mace to the face though. Level 18 right now. 4-0-7. He's having a fantastic game and he's going to be a big influence for Denial. Shing's 1-4 scoreline does not do him credit for the plays that I'm seeing him pull out today. And it's just a shame that we're not seeing him manage to stay alive long enough to.
Well, I mean, you mentioned the 1-4, but you left off the 5, and that's a
true.
big part of it. He's also getting assists that aren't showing up on his slash line because they take too long.
He's not a support. We're not supposed to look at assists.
Well, when you're talking about a Thor brings so much to the battlefield. A lot of these kills are coming off of the stuns, and a lot of them. Shing is dying because he's going deep, but his team is able to capitalize off of that deepness a lot of the time.
And you can see actually both hunters being involved. We've seen Bronx pick up a couple extra kills over Vishium, but Vishium involved in 9. Bronx involved in 7. Salt Machine, though, is the big boy on enemy's side right now. Very tanky frontline. Frostbound Hammer going to keep people locked in place. And he's that 4-1-2 tagline as well. He's going to be an issue if this game continues because they're going to have to try and burst him down.
Pain Devion going to roll out to help his friend. They're on the tower, but they all walked over a ward, so Denial knows an enemy is sitting on their tower. No problems here.
Well, they're both looking for picks more than anything. Denial are the aggressors right now. Once again, with their comp, they can find a pick, get it, and maybe look for the Gold Fury. With the mid towers being down too, you'll see both sides be very, very careful once they push the mid lane out, not to push on, just in case the team's waiting.
Gold Fury just being looked at right now. A lot of teams you just want the vision, you want the presence, you want to be around, you want to be in the neighborhood. But exactly knocking on the door, that's a little bit scarier.
You want a response. You want to see what the response time is of the team as well. Is the jungler going to be rotating in the moment? Oh, that means they've got a ward. Does anybody have anything in the air that's going to be an issue? At the moment, though, no team feels comfortable enough to do it. And I think this next Gold Fury could spell something in this game, unless it's a big, crazy fight again. Because take into account that Gold Fury as well left off, this next one will be worth a lot more gold than the last.
Oh, it's very true. Don't forget that the Gold Fury sort of goes by time now. It's not just a flat gold amount.
I mean, Denial as well, they still have a gold lead, so if they get this one, they're going to extend it and probably able to push on. Enemy will even things up in terms of gold, which will just continue this sort of game we're seeing here. With these two mid towers being down, we're going to see a little bit more of a lull in action, more of a pick situation now, just because the presence is not there.
Gold Fury not being started. It's going to be an aggression into the left-hand side. Vicium being forced into the air almost immediately. Mace to the face able to avoid most of those shots. Shing's in the air. He's going to land.
Don't know where he's going to go. He may look for Chaos here on the backside. No, he's actually going deep onto Vicium on the left, but the beads were used immediately. Shing beads it as well for the wall. Not going to find it. So just jumps away, but he eats an unstable vortex at half HP's him.
The damage coming out from Mace to the face is incredible. That unstable vortex just did half the life bar of just Batz.
And this is why I said Mace has to go off this game. And so far, his levels were influencing how much damage he's doing. Because as you level up, you get base values on your abilities, which increase the damage just standard. So he's really abusing that now. And now the God Fury has been done here. After that quick pause, it's been attempted. Playing Divion trying to get there, but it looks like they're going to get it. Good zoning work from Denial.
Fantastic zoning work. Nobody could even walk through. They all got stuck in the middle. Pain Divion was trying to force his way through, but just stuck behind too many members of Denial, and that Gold Fury is going to start this big lead. That's the 5,000 gold we were talking about.
And we discussed this at the start, right, about what their composition's looking to look to do late game. They left the Janus, they left the Bronx Bombers. Oh, wait for a second.
Mace to the face going to go ahead and beads to get out of the death that would have been the Fear No Evil.
But you talked about Shin's CC chain, that he's going to be very defensive, very CC heavy. Once again, Walrus on the front line as well, being tanky, and as well, they see Shadow Q there. All of them are just on zone duty. Keep them away and let the other two take the Gold Fury out is a good call.
Especially once the Berserker's barrage is down for Thor. I mean, you know, Mjolnir's doing a lot of damage, but really his job is to be that sort of goalkeeper, the zoner. Just get away from my objective.
That's why you see the Spirit Rogue coming out more and more on these Thors, because they're starting to realize that
CDR.
As the role goes on, the transition to this build changes as well. On top of that, they do cap at 40% CDR with Yotus, so helpful. I love the fact that Shing went for Aegis as well here. That's just another reason for being on the front line. He's getting himself in a couple of bad situations, not by choice, more the enemy team doing a good job at responding to him, but then that Aegis will buy him a second to get his cooldowns back up once more.
The shell on Sun Wukong for Denial has really paid dividends as well. Walrus able to stand in the middle of everything during the fight and just pop that shell. It's so many protections. In addition to flat damage reduction, is a very, very potent ability.
Just going to swing around left here. There's no ward in the jungle, but Mace to the face is that ward. Actually going to go for Mace there. Fear No Evil connects a crit 2 for 300. Mace trying to get to a wall to escape. He does manage it, but Chaos in the sky. Damn, that ultimate's effectively hard to land.
Up in the air is Vicium looking for Shing. He is in a lot of trouble. Shing able to make it into the sky before he gets stuck with the third. He'll likely land safely on his side of the map.
But left-hand side, there's a good siege from enemy. Now we've got a minion wave coming. It's a 2v5 scenario here now. Wrath of Terror used defensively, but Salt Machine so tanky, he doesn't care right now. Instead, they'll get a tier 1. But check out right lane, Walrus split pushing, and that's why Salt Machine just teleported.
Enemy's going to go ahead and continue pushing down this left-hand side. It looks like they want to be here, and they do. The tier 2 will inevitably fall, as there's only 2 members of Denial here to defend. And as you said, Walrus was split pushing, had to be stopped by the Bellona.
He did, but the teleport was good from Salt Machine there. The one thing people underestimate about New War as well is she's still that same sort of god where she can help you push towers quicker, because the clay minions, well, they'll get aggro and tank up the tower for your team and remove backdoor protections.
Yeah, the backdoor protections is really the key there. Without getting too mathy, basically towers are just harder to kill if there's no minions in the vicinity, and those New War minions, they count. And so they'll be able to make those towers easier to kill for the entirety of the team. And, as you said, they tank it. They just take the brunt of the damage, so that helps out a lot.
Would you look at what happened, though, in that engagement? Enemy there, they were 2,500 gold down at one point before that gold period went to 5,000. But they take the tier 1, tier 2, and one engagement, and now these scores are looking a lot more even once more, down to 1,800 gold behind and 1,000 experience. Well, 1,000 experience at this level, not that much.
Not that much at all, yeah. These teams have been neck and neck. Denial was able to get a lead at some point after a nice Gold Fury, but getting almost 30 minutes in and these teams are separated like it's the early game. I love to see this level of competition.
Just work to realize he could go on Mace to the face there was really, really smart as well, because Mace slightly out of position away from the wall, didn't have beads, got Fear No Evil, and then the ultimate came in as well from Kev to secure it. That was important for them. And for a sub coming in, I'm not sure if he's going to be main roster, whatever the story is there, but just did good work in that engagement.
Yeah, these are the plays that you want to see if you're considering somebody for the main roster. Right-hand tower will go down to the hand of Bellona. Enemy again putting some gold in their coffers, trying to stop the bleeding, and really staying relevant in this game. I say staying relevant, I mean, this lead that Denial has just isn't anything to hang a hat on.
I think I love what Visham did there. He saw the pings, you saw the massive pings by the team to say there's a big rotation coming. He gives up the tower, not because he couldn't have farmed that wave himself, but the presence of the enemy team could have come in behind him and killed him. Now, though, it's enemy on the aggression.
That's what we saw out of Denial. They sort of got the pincer move before. Took out the Hunter. Visham not going to fall to the same fate. Ultimate out of Pain to be on. Looking for more is Adjust with the Fear No Evil. But now 2 key ultimates for enemy are down. Denial are all ready to fight with all 5 up. Nothing resulted from that.
Mace at the face did such good work there, putting the portal down to give the option for Bronx Bombers to get through that portal. Real abuse of the portals at high level, which we're starting to see more and more as people realize, hey, if he puts a portal down, I can go through it too, not just his ultimate ones. They're using them more. Good effect to get Bronx out of a tricky situation.
Enemy falling back into their own jungle. Denial looking to give a little bit of chase. Isolated is Salt Machine. He's going to be stuck out of his bludgeon. Force out of the ultimate one more time. Yeah. That'll be another ult lost on the side of enemy for nothing.
That's problematic because he's going to go back to base there. No ult and no teleport to get back to this goal view. They're now looking for their 3rd one of the game right now. Pain's going to get zoned out by Walrus and Shadow Q one more time. It's taking a long time for that goal view though, after.
Exactly. One of the things that you need to do to cap... So, hold that thought. Shadow Q getting in a lot of trouble. Shane going to stun out Chaos. That'll be a dead new off the hand of Mace in the face. Still more action coming. Everybody looking at Adjust. Thor wall will stop the aggression, but still looking at Salt Machine.
Yeah, he is back in the engagement. Pain Divion is zoned away from the team, though, surrounded by Ultimate. Great
ultimate.
Oh, man, cataclysm. Salt Machine turns his attention to Bronx, forcing out the Petrifies. Walrus on the front line is getting low. Still has his clone available, though, as Pain falls through the portal. He's probably dead.
Shing's going to go ahead and pick that kill up onto the support. Jungler for Denial have been doing a lot of setup. This time around, earns himself a kill. And off that engagement, Denial will start looking at the Gold Fury. Rama and Victor rally, Eagles rally still, or up one more time. We saw it burned out before, but what I was saying before that engagement happened, Handyman, was yes, enemy has sort of used a lot of their ultimates, and I pick my words carefully. I say used, not wasted, because an ultimate used is not wasted unless your opponent starts and makes the engagement off of that. Denial sort of waited a little bit, and Eagles Rally was available. Luckily for them, doesn't go in. Denial goes ahead, picks up the Gold Fury, and 31 minutes in, winds up back with that 5,000 gold.
Yeah, Denial did the fight well, though. I mean, they started the Gold Fury in an awkward position where I'm like, but they've got to be a little bit careful against the Fear No Evil.
Especially since the Eagles Rally came back up.
The moment they saw that as soon as they saw them in the right position to go aggressive, disengage, Shin goes up, Wrath of Terror comes out immediately, and they picked him apart very nicely, especially after Salt Machine not being there. Like you
Such smart decision-making coming out from Denial. You can never be, well, I guess you can be too careful, but this time around, their caution gives them...
Honestly, for a 30-minute game at this stage, I'd normally be able to tell you who's going to win and be sort of like, well, maybe they've got a chance to come back into it. This one, still anybody's game. I feel enemy could still win it in one engagement. I mean, remember, as the game goes longer, guys, the respawns take longer as well. Not because the game goes longer, but because you level up and get to that level 20 as the respawn time is continued.
Yeah, exactly. This lead is a large one. It's 5,000 on the side of Denial, but if enemy gets 4 down, gets a deicide. That's a fire giant, and that's a couple of towers.
At least a Phoenix for a fire giant, like you said. Quite potential for either of them. Now, we're going to see the sieging for the fire giant, as we just mentioned there. Wards will start getting placed down by both teams. Positional advantage will be key. Enemy's plan here, get a big pick, look for a big group team fight initiation.
Hunters are on the left-hand side, though. And they're going to be joined by Bellona. Salt Machine shows up, forces the lacerate out of Medusa. So now
TP though, and now they're going to see a push down mid from Denial. Potentially is what I see here. The wave clear is good enough. They've just not got the poke on the tower is the issue for long range. That's the only problem.
Yeah, but their hunter not here. They have to get in there and melee the tower down. So because of that, we won't see the siege.
I'm going to see Bronx be able to farm that left-hand lane for the time being, as Vicium has had to come middle lane to cover as well. This is what they're really looking to do, pressure the lane in mid, pressure the lane left as well. And Bronx is going to quickly take a trip back to base, probably going to be working on some more crit. There we go, see that finished. What have we actually got on the side of Vicium there? Okay, they're both going to be going for Heavenly Agility this game in terms of actives, I believe. It's unlikely we see Sprint 3 these days.
No, I mean, Heavenly Agility is just, I mean, it's one of the best actives in the game. It boosts your healing in addition to giving your whole team an absurd speed buff.
Kane walking quite far forward there, looking for the option to potentially engage if he saw it. Obviously, he's not going to really go too hard there because you don't know where Shing is now. He's around those right-hand harpies there. Oh, very lucky with the shield because well, not lucky with it, but good shield because if not, he was getting pulled.
Shadow Q does have a Spirit Robe as well. So that's what that blue aura around the character was. Wasn't Shell. Shell is actually on the Wukong.
That's the
Salt
fight
Machine
for me.
aggressing onto Mace of the Face.
That's the fight for me right now. Salt Machine versus Mace. They're both having good games. Salt Machine realizing he's got to keep Mace out of a fight from hitting the squishes. That just blinks in though, gets the Fear No Evil off the back onto Mace, who uses his ultimate to get out the engagement. Chaos
Shing
takes to the sky and finds the kill.
Shing lands onto Adjust after what seems like an hour in the air. Gets the secondary stun. The rest of Denial is here. Monkey jumps into the middle, and here comes the rest of enemy. Rama Invicta over the top. Salt Machine looking for more, but he's targeting Shadow Q while Walrus targets Adjust. Salt Machine is going to be tower diving, surrounded by members of Denial. His team is nowhere to be seen. Maybe bit off a little bit more than he can chew.
Oh, he gets out just but I think they're going to chase this.
Out.
Bronx is going to chase the Petrified, connects to the maximum range. Lovely, beautiful statue there of the boys. Pain Beyond now trying to help out his teammate in zone. He will be picked too, and Denial come out on top of the team fight based off that mistake.
Denial, do they have enough to go for the Fire Giant, or are they going to look for the picks? With the backing of Shadow Q, it looks like they're going to stick around and opt not to go for the Fire Giant. 2 deaths, not enough, especially when it's the non-real damage. I mean, you got to watch out for the Vicium and the Adjust when it comes to dealing damage to the objectives. Fear No Evil really able to disrupt the opportunity, whereas the Ram snipes able to just, well, frankly, steal the objective. So those are the two you want to be careful of. I think that if instead of Pain and Salt, if we saw Adjusted Vicium dead, that might have been an opportunity for Denial to go for the Fire Giant.
It may have been. And the thing is, Vicium and Bronx Bomb is there. Both of them were out of that engagement till the very, very end across the other side of the map. Fire Giant, like you said, has begun now. It just knows this is going to blink over the wall. He might get a bit of danger here. He's got beads available, I believe he does. And wisely backs out again.
So this Fire Giant attempt goes to Denial Esports, no problem. And a large part of it is, look at this ward, folks, on the left-hand side of your map. We'll hold that thought as the fight breaks out. Chaos Force into the air.
Shing
Denial is
in the air
up.
as well. Shing is up and he's going to go aggressive. Mace came
Mace
back.
a little bit too deep. Shing does fall down. This is 1 down for Denial, 0 down for enemy. Enemy largely on the good side of this fight. Salt Machine still full HP. Looking at Shadow Q. Eagles rally over the top. Shing in a little bit of trouble as well. Able to get out of there with the teleport to the hammer.
A little bit too far forward though, because Bronx is here as well. Going to put some good poke damage out. Meanwhile, on the front side, Walrus still zoning out Vicium and Chaos as well. Adjust the Monkey is back. Mace to the face. The only real casualty in that fight. He went very deep and the Monkey was waiting.
Just a little bit too deep. Denial goes ahead, does get the Fire Giant,
good call.
But loses it off of one of their more powerful characters.
I was saying good call here for enemy to go for the Gold Fury. They just dissuade the damage and potential that Denial had to accelerate this game by taking that Fire Giant. They respond with a kill and the Gold Fury. And once again, we're going to go back to a bit of a farm fest because Denial, well, this Fire Giant's not going to last too much longer.
Great play coming out from both of these teams on the right-hand side. So now goes ahead and picks up the Fire Giant. And, you know, we were talking about why they weren't going for it. The reason they wound up going for it was you can see, not anymore, but there was a ward on the left-hand side that Ram walked over. So Denial, with that information, understanding that the snipes wouldn't be there to steal their Fire Giant, they immediately hit the gas and take it. Big problem to not have that on Janus any longer, though.
Yeah, for the time being, because he's gone back to farm. And the boys at Denial heading down the left-hand lane here. Shing and Brock's Bombers will be joining him. He's going to throw the portal through to try and speed this up. They want to try and use the remaining time on this Fire Giant. It's not terrible that it's not on Mace to the face, but it's not the best thing either.
It's a huge boon in the team fights.
They will get the red buff in response, though, which is a good start, but they really want to try and get the tier 2 left. I expect a defense here out of enemy because Salt Machine does have teleport up, and he's currently pushing out that right.
Vicium just playing around with his abilities real quick. Denial now going to go ahead and push down the left-hand lane.
There's a teleport as well from Salt Machine as a just in the jungle. Goes a little bit more aggressive to force them back in. Denial, realizing this, they back up once more. The aggression has subsided. The Fire Giant gonna come down soon. If Denial want to make something happen, they have to go soon.
And soon is exactly where they're going to go. Right underneath the tower. Shadow Q will just tank it. And the rest of the team will push it down. Here comes the waves of minions. Denial playing this safely, giving enemy a lot of respect.
No Evil from it just hits all 5 members. They're pushing Shing and Warriors into tower range. Unfortunately, it was the tankier 2 members, and so the reset happens, and no Fear, no Evil, but Pain's going to go in too.
Damage is Shing's on the backside. Chaos very, very low. Forced into the ultimate. Shing's going to go follow up in the air, but Vicium gets him while he's straddling the ult. Walrus will hit the Jingle Bang over the top. Vicium finishes the second part of his double kill. Salt Machine surrounded by members of Denial. He'll take out one. He'll look towards another. And over the top comes the Ram Snipes. Vicium on the backside, dealing enough damage to send Denial packing.
Send them packing for the time being. A good defense from enemy there. They don't lose any towers whatsoever thanks to that Fire Giant. Good work from them, so the game's going to stall out again for the next minute or so as we see the Fire Giant siege begin for both teams for position. Enemy played that well, though. I mean, for a just to have used Fear No Evil, and then the beads were used from some of them, and that allowed the Cataclysm to come in from Pain Divion. It was a good, sporadic fight.
That's the dream, Fear No Evil. That we always talk about how Fear No Evil will just disrupt the team fight and thus the plans of the enemy. It's exactly what happened. Denial was 5 members deep, ready to push down the tower, and then Phoenix, they had the last bits of Fire Giant on them. Fear No Evil dropped right in the middle, able to just annihilate any thought that Denial had.
Well, up for ult in the jungle happens. The tier 2 gets pushed down Vicium in mid lane. Vicium in that fight, though, he made a big impact because Shing, if he would have got to the sky, he could have turned that one around.
Yep.
But 2 big crits before Chaos could land really changed that fight completely for enemy. They get a tier 2 in response now. Let's go to the graph side and have a little look at how close they are. And pretty much, you don't really need to look at these ever again because everyone's pretty much approaching full build now at 40 minutes in. Everyone is level 20 apart from, as you'd expect, the support players.
15 to 16 of the kills as well. Very, very tight game here.
Really good work from Shadow Q though. 0, 1, and 11 right now. Actually got 1 item left in his build to finish. It's going to be a Witchblade by the looks of it to try and deal with the auto attack in hands of Salt Machine Adjust and Vicium as well as this game goes onwards. Has the Lotus Crown alongside it, so a very, very tanky tree. Across the way, Pain Divion here, well, he's gone for a similar sort of path, has got that Medjai's online, which has been highly discussed as whether it's valuable or not right now. Pain Divion feels it is this game. He's going to actually lose it.
See, the Magi's Blessing, I like it. I don't think it's useless, but right there, that's what happens. Oh. That's why people don't like it, because it's so easy to shred.
I just got very lucky. No one Saber Vortex hitting him down the backside. Going aggressive on Mace to the face. Going to force out the ultimate. Doesn't manage to body block it long enough. Good shield from Pain Divion to soak some damage, allowing him to somersault out.
Very well played.
Stick around. Good way from Adjust again.
Very well played by Adjusted Pain Divion. Pain really, really showing his ability to find these diamonds in the rough.
They're trying to get the Wrath of Terror off Shadow Q here if they can find it.
Shell is good.
With a good wall, though, to zone out the team. Salt Machine, such a big front liner on this Bellona right now. Big defensive, tanky build, looking for the blaze.
3-man Cataclysm coming out of Pain Divion, and off that, the rest of his team enemy will follow suit. Snipes from Vicium,
snipes.
shards from Chaos, 2 kills on the side of the mid laner. This tower is going to go down. Will Xing, if enemy has their way, he will, but Mjolnir's attunement will allow him to get out of dodge quickly.
What a big fight for enemy that one was. They're going to get the tier 2 tower here as well, potentially look for the fire giant. And these are the sort of engagements, though, that enemy want, right? They're looking for the big team fight situations. They've got Vicium who can take to the sky and Chaos, who are the damage dealers, who can get themselves out of combat while the front line does the work of zoning.
No sleep till Phoenix, says enemy. They'll go ahead and take it. And that's the first Phoenix of the game at 42 minutes, 17-17. The teams are separated by 871 gold.
Well, they're separated by a Phoenix, as Xing's going to go up and try and deal with the attack here from enemy.
Great ult.
There's a lot of people that teleport around the back from Walrus too. The escape route is blocked, but the fade away from Adjust is on point.
Great ult. Unfortunately, poor timing. It was a fantastic ult, but Denial was nowhere to be seen. No follow-up at all. So Xing gets the entire team stunned out, but then immediately dies as soon as CC is up.
Enemy, though, they take the Phoenix, they back away. Good call. They can start sieging the Fire Giant now again. Maybe, though, Denial, they're going to have 4 members here, and I like that they left Salt Machine and Pain to be on behind here, I've thought, because they can defend in case they try to go for a cheeky attempt at the Fire Giant.
Exactly. It's the, I always call ults like new satellite ults, if you will. That is a satellite person. They're just going to leave him there as a ward in order to deter anything.
And to be fair, Salt Machine has just been that ward the whole game. He's done a lot of frontline damage in terms of zoning, constantly CCing, constantly keeping them busy, and forcing people away because they can't do anything.
Very, very long one here. Possibly the longest of the split thus far.
It's getting there. I think we had one in the EU that was longer. Oh no, the TSM one was long too against the Ego. That was a very long game as well. There's been multiple long games. Walrus gonna siege in, trying to defend the Fire Giant here as those clay minions tanking it up for them on the front line. They will keep them aggro for the Fire Giant a little bit longer.
Walrus taking so many pokes. Able to get out of there, no problem.
Cost him his Cloud though, and then on the backside, Salt Machine goes aggressive on Bronx with that Eagles rally. The protection is going to help him out, force Bronx further away. Chaos going to take to the sky as Adjust blinks in as well. Walrus' clone's going to go down. Shadow Q a little bit surrounding him. Vicium will start critting big now.
Xing lands on the backside. Chaos in a little bit of trouble, but one more time. Xing with a great opportunity. Going to be forced out. Vicium, hold your breath.
Nope.
Not good enough. He's going to come down, but adapt, adjust, will fix everything.
No, he will
Beautiful
not,
fear,
because
no evil.
Bronx is going to get a trade kill onto Salt Machine, who's one of their biggest frontliners. He's going to fall down and trade, and the boys of enemy, but they're weak here. I don't think they can they potentially go for the Fire Giant here? There's a risk.
It is a risk. The members are very, very low.
Can we just check on Mace to the face for a second? I don't think they're going to go for it, that's why. Because if Mace has his ult coming up anytime soon, luckily he's not. I think they're just threatened by that. Yep. He could snipe that one away and potentially pick up a kill as well. So, enemy, they reset. They don't win anything from the engagement. Luckily for them, though, they already had 2 Phoenixes down on the side of Denial.
Back and forth.
The whole game?
This game is tug of war.
In fairness, though, I want to say, when we say back and forth, look at the graphs, right? Denial, 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 denial. Now is the final time we've seen enemy take the gold lead. And this was one thing I wanted to see from enemy, what they're going to be like in the late game, because they look good against AFK late, honestly.
Denial knows what's going on.
They seem to be better. They need to work on the laning phase if they're going to go for this.
Denial sees this.
They do know through space and time is going to be fired, actually, because it was already reset. They actually, Mace went for the full burst on the Fire Giant, but it had reset early, and they get an ultimate for free.
That might be problematic, but enemy will just go ahead and back. So every second after that Mace to the Face ultimate is used is time allowed for that to come back up. Right away, enemy will start it over. Denial here, now no longer with that
ultimate whiff though from Adjust. He didn't manage to get anyone with it, so he's not going to get any beads or anything. Xing though was already up, and they're looking for Salt Machine. And really, he just to find something to land on more than anything. But they did reset the Fire Giant.
There are so many ultimates being traded in and out right now. Neither team really wants to just directly go for it.
Respawn of the Phoenix, as you can see on the map. There's the pings down from the team. That could be from enemy or Denial. Both of them are saying, look, let's go and take these Phoenixes down. It looks like it was enemy. The right one spawned. You can see Denial trying to clear up the last fire minion wave in the right-hand lane. There should be one more on the way in from mid lane here, as we see on the minimap. There we go. You can see that running down towards that Phoenix. And where will we see enemy go? Maybe they'll look for the fire giant now based off someone clearing that last fire minute.
Yeah, there's the entire team here. There's 2 members of Denial outside of the fight. It's a 5-on-3 if enemy is able to take this when they want, but instead they'll look at the objective. Not a bad choice. Denial able to respond now. All 5 members of the team here, but Salt Machine and Pain, just like we saw 20 minutes ago at the Gold Fury, are going to play Disruptor.
Big burst damage though as the Soul Reaver did proc onto Salt Machine. Good ultimate once again from Adjust with the Fear. Now able to zone them back. Walrus did have to use his cloud, but Adjust is in trouble on the backside, being zoned out by Xing. Walrus in the sky looking for potentially going on Adjust, but a good shield from Pain may get the monkey out of trouble.
Knocked up in the air by Shadow Q might spell Adjust's demise, and with help from Xing, it will. Vicium also picks up Xing after he falls down. No basic attacks coming out from Mace to the face, but he's a mage. He's just waiting on his cooldowns. Disarm doesn't really bother him that much.
Vicium's
there it is.
Alive, but Bronx Bombers with the Petrify hit onto 3, finds 2 kills off it, and now Pain Divion, the Rock himself. He's got to try and buy time if he can, and that's what he was trying to do, but Denial know better. They're going to go for that Fire Giant.
Directly to the Fire Giant. I loved the about face that came out, just the 180
Pain's
degrees
gonna poke.
instantaneous.
Oh, they took some shots from that Fire Giant, then Pain doing a good job of blinking around. He's just trying to keep them busy more than anything.
Oh, yeah.
You might not be able to steal it again, but buy time. Waste it so his team can respawn so they can defend their Phoenixes. He's still around and the team trying to ignore him for the time. Now they're going to commit for him. It's not a big issue if he does fall, but he's buying as much as he can. All in the pool.
Ace to the face does go ahead and pick it up, and Bronx will pick up Pain to Beyond. That's the deicide. Even with all that time in between the 4 kills and the death of the support, it is a deicide because everyone's dead. This is what you were talking about. People are so dead for so long. Your death timer is 70 plus seconds.
Pain Divion made the really big play then though, honestly. That play was huge. Without that play, what we would have ended up seeing from this is that they would have gone on and won the game immediately. Denial could have taken that, come back to lanes, pushed down, took Phoenix, took Titan. What he did there was sacrifice himself to the gods just to make sure his team could survive and stay in this game still.
And now Denial's just going to go ahead and clear out basically all of the jungle.
Yep. Clear out their own jungle. Meanwhile, you see enemy do the same thing. Enemy now on the defensive once more. They've lost a Fire Giant before and defended well. Can they do it again? This time round, though, the full team has it, and it's 50 minutes in, not 30 odd.
50, and still. Gold, irrelevant, but it's a very close game in that regard. Experience, irrelevant. Pretty close in that regard as well. The kills, 20 to 23. That really tells, as far as like what it means right now, largely irrelevant again, but it tells the story of just how close this match is.
If you want to see full builds, check them on the screens now, guys, because you get an idea of what you should be going. Although Vicium did go for a Brawler's Beat Stick, which makes sense against the healing from Walrus, the healing from Shadow Q. It will nullify some of that. Shadow Q though, very tanky now, can tank up some tower shots, but he can't tank up Vicium. Vicium will shred on that front line, just like Bronx Bombers will.
Pain to Beyond, up in the front, as he should be. The rest of his team making the box in the back. Enemy knows that they don't want to defend over this tier 2. No sense in dying over this one, but Chaos, he's going to fall anyway. Adjust trying to help out his teammate. Throws out the Fear No Evil, unable to capitalize off of it.
Could be game. Vicium had to base them by getting bursted by the Sylvanus. Pain to Beyond just blinked into a wall. Shing's taken to the sky already. Where's he going to dunk onto?
Backline.
No, not going to find the one he really wanted, which was Vicium, but now they'll still look for him anyway. Beads, rollout use, wall connects, takes to the sky himself. This is defensive because no one's low enough to find the kill on.
As soon as he falls, roll is good. The Titan is under attack. Denial is smart enough. They do want to get a couple of more Phoenixes down, I believe, before they go right on in, because Chaos, the only one with an ultimate up, but his body's not up, so.
This is the issue at this stage. The Hunters can burst so much damage. Look at that crit, 751, half HP. And that's why they've been a little bit careful, Denial, here, because if Vicium does get an opportunity, they will lose a fight very quickly to the crit damage.
Salt Machine rooted out, still tanky as Bellona, but look at the damage that Denial's able to put out. It's 51 minutes into this match, and this is what happens when players are full build. Everybody just melts. Gotta give credit to enemy here, though. defense
The
able
hold.
to stand on that Phoenix.
They hold, but the Fire Giant's still online for a few more seconds. Will Denial make one more siege? This is the question. No is the answer. They will return to the jungle and steal away some buffs. The gold experience, you see it? It doesn't mean anything now. Everyone's full build. Everyone's almost, well, everyone is level 20 apart from Pain Divion. This is the last minute push. They think this is a good call. They think they all recalled to base and they didn't. And they're going to actually swing in and get the Phoenix for free. Go play. Nice try for Pain Divion with the blink in to stop this, but the Phoenix will fall.
Blink in, not good enough. And the Phoenix is down. That's 2 out of 3 Phoenixes out of here, which means the Titan is very vulnerable. Enemy's going to give chase, but if Denial wants, they can turn around on this at any point in time and really
Enemy have to push. Enemy have to push and try and find a pick big here. Shadow Q's the opportune target, but the rest of the team is the ones with the damage. Shadow Q's going to get turned on now. Wrath of Terror onto 3, pulled into CC up. Xing takes to the sky for zoning duty. He re-engaged deep. Xing makes a mistake there, in my opinion.
Just
going
a little too deep. Rama Invicta over the top. Vicium is going to look for kills on the backside. Everybody trying to be slowed down by enemy. They want more.
Still after Shadow, but he's so tanky they won't get him after that Fear No Evil, which zoned away Walrus, and the portal was not able to be used by Shadow. 4 mace to the face, dropping it. Enemy trying to push on to respond now here.
Another blink by Pain Divion. This fight has gone on for long enough for that blink to come back up.
That's the way these fights go sometimes. Good call from Adjust, though, and the boys of enemy send someone back to defend from the fire minion waves pouring in. These 2 Phoenixes, though, on Denial are also weakened. Remember that from an enemy got them earlier on. Pain and Salt Machine and Vesium should be able to bring this down quickly. It's up to Bronx and Walrus.
Salt Machine here, sort of zoning out Walrus away from the rest of his team, while the rest of enemy take out the Phoenix.
This is risky. This one's a bit riskier here for them to try and bring this one down as well.
Able to provide so much damage onto the Phoenix. He's already half HP.
Good having agility from Vicium there. They do get the Phoenix, but they get out. It was a little bit riskier. Maybe they stick around too long, or they're going to look for the kill.
Aggression! Box Bomber is very, very low.
Chaos.
1, 2! Vicium is the one with the snipes this time around. Great shot from the Hunter on the enemy.
I guess you've got to be quick on those snipes when you've got somebody trying to kill steal them every single time in Chaos that game. But we're all square, boys. We're all square. The only thing to really talk about now is the fact that middle Phoenix on the side of enemy is going to spawn in the next minute. And that means that there's going to be fire minions pouring down in favor of enemy down the mid lane. Right lane will go even for at least a little while.
This one is so exciting.
It's backwards and forwards.
This is just annihilation. Vicium gets taken out by the late game ace to the face. Was that a one-shot?
Yes.
Was that a one-shot?
Yes.
Was that a one-shot?
I'm pretty certain that was a one-shot.
I just like to hear you say yes.
Yes. Oh, sorry, I get high pitched when I get excited. That's what happens.
Don't worry, I slammed the desk and production yells at me.
It was a Soul Reaver, and very, very painful indeed that was. Mace to the face. That's what you see out of a Janus late game, ladies and gentlemen, as well.
Yeah, that unstable vortex is just such a powerful shot.
Was it? I think it was hit with through space and time. Then I want to say. I thought it was unstable vortex. Yeah, maybe it was. It wasn't unstable vortex. Ignore me. But it looked like a one shot because he was in a portal at the same time.
Yep.
It was really strange. But a big pickup. Ouch.
Yeah, he's going to be sitting for 45 seconds.
That's the problem.
We've been talking for a while.
I know we were mentioning that for fun, but the issue now is that Denial have an advantage. They have no Hunter enemy, and so they've got to try and defend what they've got available. You can see Denial, we're trying to siege down mid lane and pick up that Phoenix again in response to get it down once more. But enemy have put up a good defense, and they might even get their own buffs again still. Oh, better call. They went for Fire Giant. That makes sense.
They're going to show up here
Makes
to Fire
sense.
Giant. They're going to see who's around, and it will be started. Walrus is the one tanking it. Xing will show up as well. Look for Xing to really get hit by the Fire Giant and transition into this zoning duty sort of job right here. Just really pushed out by the wall, looking for more. Just really wants to attack Xing. The blink used a little bit too soon. Xing able to get out of there with Mjolnirs.
Pain Divion using the fog nicely to just walk up inside it and hide himself, shroud himself in the darkness. But the place for Adjust, the newbie on the team of enemy subbing in, has to use Fear No Evil defensively, does get hit still, but Pain Divion with a big shield helps him to survive, but maybe he'll sacrifice himself.
Denial on the offensive now, or enemies turning it right around. Previously, Denial's fight immediately looking like enemies with a couple of crits out of Vicium, who is now back alive.
He is sustaining on the front side too. Salt Machine very tanky. Denial are on the retreat this time round. Now they committed a lot for Adjust and didn't find the kill. Xing has to disengage after a very good wall to zone out the whole team. And we're back once again to whose turn is it to try and end the game.
both of these teams have had the opportunity to sort of think about it, but neither of them have been giving the same opportunity, which is why everybody's doing the dance back and forth.
The scariest thing is there's only been less than 50 kills.
Up in the air is Shing. Is he too late?
Nope.
Fire Giant still at about 25% HP. Shing will land on the backside on top of Chaos. Fire Giant is killed by enemy. They're the ones that started it. That's what they wanted. Shing in a very bad spot. Cut off by Pain to Beyond. He'll be taken out.
Oh, but Salt Machine does go down in trade, but he did great work as on the rest of Denial. This one, this is going to be the longest game I think we've seen in the SPL.
I mean, we're already 57 minutes in, almost an hour into this contest. Still basically tied 24-26 every time we see a kill from the first blood at minus 41 seconds, Hindu Man. It's been a response.
Well, when this Phoenix spawns in the mid lane any second now for Denial, the only difference between these two teams is 2 kills, and one team has 4 members with the Fire Giant. This one is going to keep going. But it's one team fight. This is the scary thing about the game. One team fight wins and loses you the game. You can see nobody even cares about Gold Fury right now.
Oh, no,
they
Gold
just
Fury,
ignored it.
all of the gold is irrelevant.
Evo does not mention the face, forcing him away. Warus in a bit of trouble. Has to use that wave. Oh my god, Chaos with the ultimate just did over half HP on Mace to the face and killed him. 4v5.
Late game Nuwa is able to do so much in the way of helping out the team lower the kill threshold.
Yeah, we're going to see what they can do now because they've got an opportunity to take the weakened Phoenixes out one more time. And that's going to fall down. Is this the end of the game? We'll find out shortly because the right Phoenix going to fall too. Only 3 members alive. Shing is up in 3 seconds.
Shing will be up and will have his ultimate. Look for Shing to basically, as soon as enemy groups up, Thor will try to find his way into the sky to deter any sort of push.
There is a 5 minion wave right-hand side, though, but it's just been cleared down. Now he's going to respawn. They're looking for the last Phoenix, though. Paydivion leading the charge
Thor
in here.
The back.
So tanky. Shadow Q with a very good Wrath of Terror. Shing still not in the sky, but he's taking a lot of crit damage from the pokes of Vicium. The last Phoenix falls, and just with the Fear No Evil, the snipes as well. Shadow should fall.
Shadow alive! Shadow will find his way all the way to the fountain. That'll be good for him. Walrus still alive as well. Shing. They're grouped up. Will this be a bad call? He's going to help the single person. Pain and Beyond stuck, but he's so tanky. 3 people stunned out by the Cataclysm, and now enemy will filter back on into the fight.
But can they find the damage? The wall zones them all out from Shing. The Phoenixes have all been destroyed. The fire minions will pull from everywhere, but enemy just can't end yet. How did Shadow Q live?
He had one sliver of HP left. Just walked into the Phoenix, into the fountain.
Like if he died, then that was game. I feel. I think they could have ended without him, but he managed to come back in and reinitiate and force the pressure back on them one more time.
Shadow Q's the one on Sylvanus, so he's able to provide that sustain.
Shadow Q's died twice. Walrus has died once the entire game. Not
Incredible.
Bad. Not bad /.
Incredible. Shing, the 2 and the 10 with the 14. I mean, he's really setting up. We're seeing that time and time again. It's about the ult into the walls.
And you can see enemy with the Fire Giant still. They've got a little bit of time remaining. They're trying to make sure these minion waves get all the way pushed in. They're looking for the final commitment here after enemy could go 5-2 based off this game against Denial, who's in opposition. That, to be honest, you'd expect Denial to win this, but enemy have gone in.
Stun onto Walrus. Here comes a Just with the huge Fear No Evil. Vicium takes out one. Chaos makes it rain from the sky, and Vicium does the same. Finds the kill of Mace to the face inside the fountain, and that will be it. There's not much Denial can do, and the Titan falls down instantaneously. Enemy is the one of the winners of the 60-minute game.
60 minutes and 30 seconds exactly. I'll have you now.
Thanks, Hindu Man.
No problem. What an amazing game between those two, though. Backwards and forwards throughout. Denial, honestly, throughout the first 30 minutes of that game, they had the experience and gold lead. Was it enough, though, to save them? No, because enemy came out strong. Here's the first blood, though, and it started for Denial.
Yeah, it was just right away. It was just a quick blink in and annihilated this mid laner. Chaos really just smoked.
Yep, But it didn't really matter as the game went on, though.
No.
The whole transition, the game plan from Anyway was to get to a later stage of the game if possible, look for big team fights. When they found the team fights, it went well. Both teams backwards and forwards. It wasn't without no mistakes, though. Both teams did have the odd error of ways there that they need to correct, but they both look good.
I mean, that's how we landed here at the an hour later, winding up in the same game, because both teams made some of the right moves and then made some of the wrong moves, and that's what kept them neck and neck. So that was pretty rough for them. In any event, we're gonna go ahead and let you guys grab a snack or grab a drink before we get into game number 2.
That's a long one.
60 minutes of Smite. That's a long one. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with game number 2 in just a hair.
From destiny.